Dome where the Clippers will host the Suns. It all starts with NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern. Adam Silver, the NBA.
Have you ever wondered what happens when the guardian of your sport starts doubting its very foundation? Have you ever seen a leader so shaken that he'll publicly call out his partner league's handling of its brightest star? We start our show, though, with unfortunate news out of the Caitlin Clark announced today that she will miss both the three-point contest and the All-Star game this upcoming weekend in Indiana after re-aggravating a groin injury in that final minute of Tuesday's win over the Connecticut Sun. Clark had already sat out 4 games plus the Commissioner's Cup final, and now her absence from the weekend's festivities is devastating for fans. But if there had been any way for her to play, she would have been there. Adam Silver just watched the WNBA's Golden Goose confirm she's missing the All-Star game due to another injury. And the timing could not be worse. With CBA negotiations on the brink and lockout threats looming, Clark's absence from the league's biggest weekend has NBA leadership sounding alarm.
Commissioner in the building here for Game 5. So is the WNBA Commissioner, Cathy Engelbert.
The moment Clark limped off the court, the entire WNBA universe shifted. What should have been a celebratory build-up to a landmark All-Star weekend has instead become a flashpoint of criticism and skepticism. Fans who bought their jerseys, hotels that plastered her face across every billboard, and sponsors who tied multi-million-dollar deals to her stardom all feel the sting. If leagues live and die by their stars, then the WNBA just got a chilling reminder of how fragile those stars can be when mismanaged. Adam Silver, watching from the corner office upstairs, couldn't hide his frustration. His public concern isn't idle chatter, it's a warning.
Reacting to the outstanding applause Teresa Weatherspoon just got here from this
Cathy Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner, had the perfect springboard to promote her league's biggest asset. And yet here we are. Instead of riding the wave of Clark's breakout rookie season, she has to answer for missed calls and questionable officiating that some argue rushed Clark into further harm. Every failed whistle, every grabbed jersey that went unpenalized piled pressure on Clark's recovering groin, when legends like Rebecca Lobo and current coaches like Stephanie White couldn't help but call out the referees on live television. The stink reached the commissioner's office. Engelbert's inability to publicly demand accountability from officials only fueled the narrative that she can't protect her most valuable player.
So I first heard about the league going back to my law school days. I went to, as you said, University of Chicago. And in the classmate of mine was Adam Silver, who...
Even the Sun game itself reads like a highlight reel of officiating horror. Multiple holds, swinging elbows, dead ball shoves, and precious seconds wasted on correcting a call only after the internet exploded. A hit that should have drawn a flagrant foul sat at a mere technical until outrage forced the league's hand. You can't build credibility by reacting, only when embarrassment forces you to. Clark's own brother publicly blamed the refs on social media, and when family steps in, you know the crisis has left the court.
He's now the commissioner of the NBA, has been commissioner for a while, but he basically went to work for the NBA shortly after lost it. And
the numbers are brutal. Nationally televised WNBA viewership plummeted more than 50% when Clark sat out. Games that once drew nearly 2 million viewers now hover under 1 million. That represents millions of lost dollars in advertising and sponsorship deals. Meanwhile, ESPN's overall WNBA ratings soared by 170% this season, thanks largely to Clark's presence. Losing her isn't just a blow to the scoreboard, it's a financial crisis. The commissioner's office knows this, and yet their response has been tepid at best.
He used to invite me to NBA stuff all the time, and I never went. I wasn't, just really wasn't that interested. And I had never even heard of the WNBA. Just a little bit of mine.
Officiating woes extend beyond one player. Kelsey Plum's profane tirades about getting roughed up without calls show that even veterans feel unprotected. When star after star speaks out, it reveals a systemic failure, not a few rogue bad calls. Engelbert's excuse that no winning team ever complains rings hollow when public sentiment demands change. Fans have launched online petitions calling for officiating accountability. That revolution is happening in comment sections and Twitter threads, not league board. And let's not forget the backdrop of tense CBA negotiations. With the current agreement expiring October 31, 2025, players aren't just fighting for higher pay, they're fighting for respect and safety. Lockout threats swirl as negotiations stall, and here comes the league's most marketable talent sitting out the biggest event of the year. You can't negotiate revenue-sharing deals when your marquee players can't trust the league to protect their bodies. Silver's warning is clear. Fix this, or we step in. Historically, women's basketball has fought for every inch of legitimacy. Clark's college finale shattered records, drawing over 12 million viewers, and her Final Four game peaked at 14.2 million. That kind of breakout star doesn't come along often. Yet here, under WNBA stewardship, she's sidelined by avoidable circumstances. The city of Indianapolis branded an entire all-star weekend around her, from the airport gates to hotel lobbies. Now she'll only be on the sideline. That gap between expectation and reality stands as a monument to leadership failure. Engelberg's promotion of the league also falls flat. Veteran sports writers publicly criticize her for stumbling over Clark's name in interviews or deflecting questions about her injury. If your media face can't smoothly champion your biggest draw, how will casual fans stay engaged? Organizational incompetence at the top trickles down. Sponsors notice. When confidence erodes, revenue follows. The broader implications for women's sports are profound. Every attendance record this season, every spike in social media engagement, every sold-out game ties back to Clark. Removing her from the equation undermines the sport's momentum. International audiences watching from Europe or Asia see a league unable to safeguard its own talent. They start to wonder if they should invest their time in leagues that value player welfare.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.
In contrast, the NBA's handling of its stars often sets the standard. Adam Silver has pushed for player safety protocols and revenue sharing that keep his athletes protected. His public comments show impatience with half measures. He sees the WNBA as a partner, not a junior league. And right now, his partner is floundering. His warnings are not mere suggestions. They are ultimatums backed by the prospect of intervention. It all comes back to accountability. Better officiating, firmer leadership, and a clear commitment to player health could have prevented this disaster. Instead, we have a commissioner who shirks blame and officials who play fast and loose with fouls. That cocktail brewed the perfect storm for Clark's latest injury. The WNBA must overhaul its officiating standards, train referees to protect players, and establish real consequences for negligence. This weekend in Indiana should have been a triumph. Instead, it stands as a stark reminder of what happens when organizational structure fails. The WNBA's most valuable asset is watching from the bench, and the commissioner's office has only itself to blame. Silver's voice grows louder not just because he cares, but because he sees the league's blueprint unraveling.
3 games on a hardship exception, and then back to waiting for a job. And she said there was plenty of interest. Look at the face here. Look at.
The ripple effects of Caitlin Clark's absence extend far beyond the court. Youth players watching at home see a role model sidelined not by her own misstep, but by a system that failed to protect her. Those young fans, dreaming of replicating Clark's shots and court vision, now wonder if the game they love truly values its heroes. When a league can't safeguard its shining star, it sends a message that talent alone won't carry you through adversity. That doubt seeps into locker rooms across the country, planting seeds of insecurity in the very athletes the WNBA needs to nurture. Corporate sponsors signed on to Clark's meteoric rise, expecting a smooth ascent. They invested millions, banking on her charisma translating into merchandise sales and broadcast eyeballs. Now, promotional materials featuring her silhouette gather dust in marketing warehouses. Brands must recalibrate their campaigns midstream or risk looking tone-deaf. The economic cost of reprinting banners and redirecting ad dollars adds insult to injury. Each lost endorsement deal becomes another data point proving the league's negligence is bleaker than any box score.
You know what they said? They said, what is Becky Hammond like? I said, Becky Hammond is like going to your favorite restaurant and ordering your favorite meal, and it's still better every time.
Even Clark herself faces a psychological battle. An athlete whose identity has been built on ironclad durability suddenly confronts fragility. Therapy sessions that once focused on game strategy now pivot to rebuilding confidence in her body's resilience. The mental toll of repeated groin strains is as real as the physical pain. How can she trust her own muscles when they've failed her at the most critical moments? This mental hurdle threatens to linger long after the soreness fades, undermining her natural flair and fearlessness. Analysts pore over advanced metrics to quantify the loss. Player efficiency ratings, true shooting percentage, plus-minus differentials, all plummet in her absence. data enthusiasts lament that no analytic model can compensate for her court awareness and gravity-defying threes. Machine learning algorithms trained on decades of WNBA performance find no suitable proxy for Caitlin Clark. That stark realization underscores how irreplaceable she is. When the numbers can't mask her absence, the league's competitive fabric unravels. Coaches lament that clinics become wonky affairs, overshadowing skill development with injury prevention lecture. The loss of spontaneity dampens the joy of playing ball for budding athletes. In locker rooms across the league, veteran stars whisper tactics for dodging overly aggressive defense. They talk about punching air just enough to draw a whistle or sliding off screens quicker. These game journalist hacks reflect a bitter acknowledgement. Coaches and players must outsmart lax officiating. Such tactics feel antithetical to pure competition. Reducing strategy to self-preservation. When fabricating fouls becomes part of playbooks, the spirit of the sport degrades under its own weight. Looking ahead, the league faces a crossroads. It can cling to complacency and watch its assets crumble, or seize the moment to overhaul operations. Some within the WNBA envision a comprehensive safety summit, bringing together commissioners, players, coaches, and medical experts. They argue that only by pooling diverse perspectives can meaningful reforms arise. This collaborative approach might salvage credibility and chart a sustainable future. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark's sidelining is more than an injury. It's a symptom of systemic neglect. It exposes fissures in governance, marketing, and culture that demand urgent repair. If corrective action arrives swiftly, the league might emerge leaner but sturdier, ready to protect the next generation of stars. If not, the WNBA risks becoming a cautionary tale for professional sports everywhere. Like and subscribe for more unfiltered truth.